On the news tonight, economy. INEC vows to punish officials found wanting in presidential and National Assembly elections. Governor Adeleke enjoins Osun people to vote PDP candidates in the coming State Assembly election. While on the foreign scene, United Nations condemns rich countries over predatory interest rates by poor nations. Good evening, and we're glad to have you join us on the major reports. I am Olubomi Ajiboye Agbola. The wealth of experience garnered by the president-elect Asiwaju Bola Tinubu over the years will assist him to paddle the canoe of Nigeria to attain greater heights. A special expert, Mr. featuring on Osbc TV Current Affairs program Saturday Morning Trade. He described the president-elect as an ideal Democrat whose role in instituting and sustaining the current political dispensation cannot be overemphasized. According to him, the just concluded elections were conducted fairly enough to be regarded as free and credible, as he advised the aggrieved contestants to seek redress in the law court without resorting to heating up the polity. He speaks further.
Every discerning mind and everyone who knows God sincerely must believe that our president-elect, Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu, is the one God has chosen for this period. Because those who are claiming that they are rigging, they did this, they did that, in this same country, in some part of this country, we saw underaged voting. Those people voted for some candidates. In some part of the country, we saw old women being assisted to thumbprint for a particular political party. That's part of the process. So now that we have had the results, we will know, the discerning mind should know the way to go. This is our president in waiting. Do you want to be in opposition? That's what will determine the way the next elections will go.
Meanwhile, former South Africa president and head of Commonwealth Observer Mission to Nigeria, Dr. Thabo Mbeki, has urged President-elect Bola Tinubu not to forget the African continent when he assumes office. According to a statement from the office of the President-elect, Mbeki spoke when he visited Tinubu at his Abuja residence on completion of the Commonwealth Observer Mission. The statement added that Mbeki noted that the election was fair and credible and asked Tinubu to make the entire African continent his compass when he takes over the reins of government. The president-elect assured the former South African president of his commitments to further African integration and economic development and promised to work with Mbeki and other leaders of the continent in this direction. Our public affairs analyst, Dr. Morufo Asani, has admonished the incoming president, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, to demonstrate the same virtues displayed as former governor of Lagos State to change the fortunes of Nigeria. Dr. Asani, who spoke on Osbc Current Affairs program Saturday Morning, urged the president-elect to be careful of sycophants, saying that he knew before may not be the same when it comes to public functions. He stressed the need to prioritize education so as to discourage Nigerian youth from seeking shortcuts rather than hard work to wealth.
Empowerment, economic empowerment of the youth should be #1 on the agenda. Some people may think that I will mention security first. If poverty reduces, automatically the level of security will improve. Yes. So poverty breeds insecurity, just like oppression breeds terrorism. So that's #1. #2, the critical infrastructure sector is very, very important. Transportation infrastructure, establishing or improving functional linkage between rural and urban areas, very, very important. So if we really want this economy to grow, one of the things that should be fundamental to the incoming president is integrated rural development. Many farm produces are wasting away every year because many of these villages cannot be accessed by road. So education sector should be improved on. Many of the graduates today, many of the students we have today, they are reluctant students of tertiary institution, and that is what is killing their morale, dampening their morale, that accounts for producing unemployable graduates, like many people will say. But despite that, our product, when they travel out of the country, so they galvanize another system. They put up very brilliant performance.
In the meantime, the Independent National Electoral Commission has uploaded 159,509 results from 176,846 polling units 7 days after the presidential poll. The figure represents 90% of results from all the polling units. Findings as at the time of filing this report revealed that the electronic transmission of results was still ongoing, but results of all the polling units were yet to be uploaded on INEC website. Nigerians expected that the election results would be uploaded on election day as promised by the INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu. However, INEC came under fire for its failure to upload results to its viewing portal, which led to the walkout of some parties' agents at the National Coalition Center. Politicians in the country have been admonished to embrace peace and respect the electoral decision of Nigerians as showcased in the outcome of the just concluded general elections. Those who spoke with Osbc News in their separate interviews counseled that politics is not a do-or-die affair. Omotayo Adebodo has details.
Reactions have continued to throw President-elect in the just concluded presidential election in Nigeria, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu's promises to revamp Nigeria's economy, which is said to be heading towards total.
The basic definition of democracy is that it is the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Periodic elections provide masses the opportunity to demonstrate their will in the choice of who governs them. In societies where people are in tune with the ethos of democracy, elections are the brightest moments in the lives of the citizenry. The electoral context in Nigeria is also an interesting and cheerful moment characterized by game plans and lots of political activities. The elections and electioneering process have been and remain a period of unleashed verbal and physical terror on society by the very people who strive for power. Speaking with Osbc News, Alhaji Tunde Sanusi stated that elections should not be a do-or-die affair, but our candidate must learn to accept defeat and move on.
It's not a do-or-die affair. Let us accept what has come. It has come. And what is going to be, it is going to be. This election is based on destiny.
In his own opinion, Dr. Soji Akinpelu stated that elections should be a time for people to speak with their votes, and everyone should cooperate with the new administration for things to get back to normal.
The way elections should be, like we say, should be like a game. Should not be a do-or-die affairs. Because people have spoken. We should accept the result of the election.
Of election in Nigeria has continued to be improved each year by the adoption of technology by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, and the increasing awareness of average Nigerian voters. However, lots still needs to be done about the mentality of an average Nigerian voter and the politician, that the period should not be an opportunity to destroy lives or properties. Omotayo Adebodo for Osbc News.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has vowed to punish its officials, including ad hoc or coalition personnel who may have been found wanting in the conduct of the February 25 presidential and National Assembly elections. INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu discussed this in Abuja at a meeting with resident electoral commissioners. He charged the electoral officials to work harder to overcome the challenges experienced in the last election as Nigerians approach the governorship and state assembly elections, saying nothing else will be acceptable to Nigerians than credible poll. The electoral umpire also told the Rex that election day logistics must be finalized days before the election and handled by the electoral officers at local government levels. According to him, the commission has intensified the review of the technology to ensure that glitches experienced, particularly with the upload of results, are rectified while expressing confidence that going forward the system will run optimally. The police command in Cross River has paraded 16 suspects arrested for various alleged electoral offences in Ogoja local government area of the state. The command spokesperson SP Irene Ugbo, who addressed newsmen while parading them, said the suspects were caught with arms and ammunition during their arrest in Ogoja after the just concluded polls. Ugbo stated that their arrest followed a diligent manhunt for those that disrupted some voting centers in the council area during the polls. According to her, the command had issued out several warnings to the people not to allow themselves be used by desperate politicians during the elections and that anyone caught will have himself to blame. The command spokesperson alleged that the suspects were found to have worked for a candidate during the last Saturday's election, adding that they will be punished in accordance with the law of the land. Ahead of his 100 days in office, Osun State Governor Senator Ademola Adeleke has called on the people of the state to vote the People's Democratic Party. In the forthcoming election, Governor Adeleke made the call while thanking the residents for their support for him last governorship election in the state, as well as the recent presidential and National Assembly elections. He called on the people to endorse the PDP again next Saturday to enable him to continue delivery of dividends of democracy. The governor, who reeled out his achievements since assumption of office, maintained that he has been delivering on his electoral promises despite the funding constraints, adding that their trust in him will not be taken for granted. Some of the achievements, according to the governor, are blocking of leakages in state finance, launching of Osun State on tech revolution through new tech innovation policy, ICT policy, and domestication of Nigeria Startup Act, introduction of Farmers Intervention Initiative, launching the payment of backlog of our salaries, and several staff emolument issues. Also, he pointed out the commencement of payments of arrears of contributing pensions, approving almost ₦1 billion for Osun Rural Development Project, implementation of mass water projects across 332 wards, launching of rehabilitation of schools and health centers, restarting the reconstruction of Ushogbo Ikirun Kwara Board Road, launching of mass road reconstruction across the state, restoration of sanity to traditional institutions, renovation of Abiri Bola Ige House, as well as activation of work on abandoned Osho House in Abuja, among others. Governor Adeleke requested the people to vote for the 26th House of Assembly candidates of the PDP, saying they are the team he will work with in order to continue to serve the state optimally. Now go on a commercial break. Major reports continues in a moment. Stay tuned.
Every day, life presents hopes, dreams, and challenges. Challenges that can become successes with a little help. Because A little help can empower you to go from despair to celebration. A little help can keep you going until the race is won. A little help can turn bundles of anxiety into a bundle of joy. And with Glow Data, you get much more than just a little help. You get the biggest data deals in town to make every day glow with small wins and big wins. Dial *777# to select your Glow Data plan.
Nigerians have called on the President-elect Senator Bola Tinubu to assemble technocrats who will help in redirecting the economy of the country. Those who spoke listeners made a call against the backdrop of the promises made by the President-elect in revitalizing Nigeria's economy. Oluwatobiloba Odunoga has more.
The just concluded presidential election in Nigeria, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu's promises to revamp Nigeria's economy, which is said to be heading towards total collapse. Asiwaju Bola Tinubu's promises to revitalize Nigeria's economy have raised the hopes of Nigerians who believe that the country can become great again if proper plans are well put in place and well implemented. Speaking on this development, an economist, Dr. Yinka Andrews, and a public affairs commentator, Dr. Olurotimi Fagbule, maintain that Nigeria is operating an import-driven economy, which has made it dependent upon other countries of the world to survive, adding that if the president-elect can address this and encourage local productions, the country will be better for it. They added that the only way the president-elect can encourage local production is by making sure that basic amenities such as good road network, regular electricity supply, and adequate security are put in place to encourage foreign investors into the country. The duo of Dr. Andrews and Dr. Fagbule, speaking on the possible ways to avert the economic crisis, maintain that there is need for the government to step up their games in redirecting physical resources to investment in infrastructure facilities, education and health services, including the stability of the distribution of energy and catalyzing private investment to boost job creation by improving the transparency of key government-to-business services and eliminating trade restrictions.
The first thing we expect him to do is to turn around the fortune of Nigeria that affects everything, including economy. That is called fiscal federalism. He should make sure that three things that affect the economy are there. Number one, he should make sure that everybody can do whatever God has given to him or her. I am talking about entrepreneurship development. So it affects education. Everything should start from primary school. It's never too late to start. We have done it before, again in the First Republic.